Good morning. Happy Tuesday. How are we doing today? I'm back here to teach you guys. It's good to see you again. If you're here in class today, feel free to just type out hello just to let me know who's here watching in class today. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting day because today is Listening Day. So we're going to be doing a lot of listening exercises today. So first up, we have a listening exercise on needing more teachers around the world. The second listening we have today is on an interesting challenge that was popular about 4 years ago called the Als Ice Bucket Challenge. So that's what we'll be doing for the first two classes. Then for our last class, we are going to be doing, I guess it's kind of like grammar, a mix of grammar, idioms discussion, all about listening. But, okay, so we're going to learn the differences between hear and listen. So that's what we'll be focusing on for our elective. Okay, so are you guys ready? If so, let's get started. So I would like you to pretty please pull out this sheet here. It's the one that has a paragraph, lots of blanks. It's called More Teachers Needed. Okay, so I think this title is pretty self-explanatory, so I won't go over it too much. Instead, let's go over the little introduction exercise. Okay, so here we have a question asking you guys, what characteristics should a teacher have? Okay, now you might be wondering, what is a characteristic? Very good question. So let's make a new words column over here. And characteristics, plural. So this is a noun. So basically, this is similar to qualities. What kind of qualities should a teacher have? So you can think of it as personalities, skills, abilities. So let's put down teacher characteristics. Maybe we should put good teacher characteristics. Good teacher characteristics. Okay, so for example, for me, when I'm thinking, what do I want in a teacher? Now, remember, I'm also a student. I take courses online at university. Although I did just finish my course, hooray! So I'm not taking any courses right now. I'm just focusing on teaching. But when I take courses, the kind of characteristics I want in my teacher, well, I hope that they're going to be friendly. I want a teacher that I can approach, talk to, and ask questions. I don't really want a mean teacher. I don't think many people want to have a mean teacher. Okay, so that's one characteristic, but obviously there's probably more than just friendly we want in a teacher. What kind of characteristics do you guys think are good in a teacher? Or what do you think is important in a teacher? So if you're watching this live, I'd like you to type out some answers, please. If anyone is watching at the moment, which I hope you are, because I don't want to do this by myself because it gets boring if I have to do it alone. I like it when students can participate. Please and thank you. Don't mind me as I sip my tea. Got a little bit of an upset stomach today, so I'm drinking some chamomile tea to calm my belly down. Okay. So, I don't see any answers yet, so I'm going to put down one or two more. I think encouraging. I like a teacher who is encouraging. So what do I mean by encouraging? I'll write that down here. This is an adjective. I think most of these are going to be adjectives. So when someone is encouraging, so let's say, for example, you and your best friend are climbing a mountain. It's a really difficult mountain. It's super steep. Oh, you're tired. You don't know if you can make it. Your best friend, they're like, come on, you can do it. You're strong. I know you can get to the top of this mountain. That's them being encouraging. So, in my opinion, a good teacher is someone who is encouraging. So, for example, when you're in class, you might answer a question and you might not get the right answer. But an encouraging teacher will be like, good try, that's not the right answer, but good try. Maybe try again. You can do it. That's an encouraging teacher. Okay, so what else? What are some other good qualities or good characteristics you want in a teacher? Again, if you're live, I'd really like you to type out some answers for me, pretty please. I have a few more ideas I can put down if no one else puts them first. Okay. Friendly, encouraging. Oh, okay, someone said nice. Thank you. Okay, someone typed out nice. Yeah, that kind of fits under friendly. Nice, encouraging. Anything else? I'm going to put down one more. I'm going to put down maybe knowledgeable. Knowledgeable. So this is basically similar to smart. So a knowledgeable teacher will know what they are doing. They are quite smart and very capable of teaching the subject that they are teaching. Sorry, that was not a good sentence. Okay, so I'm not seeing too much activity on the board. That's all right. We'll just leave it at that. Okay. Let's go on to number 2, school. How can schools be better? And so what we're going to do is we are going to look at this list of topics and let's think of some ideas of how we can make these things better. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to write down some new words. Not new words. So, how can we make school better? How can we make school better? Question mark. Okay, so first up, we have teachers. How can we make teachers better? And we have buildings, so school buildings. How can we make school buildings better? Lessons. How can we make lessons better? Classrooms. And let's do that. And maybe technology. Technology. Okay, let's leave it at that. Okay, so when I'm talking about school, I'm not necessarily talking about like our school, Global College. Kind of talking more about elementary school or high school. So maybe think about the school you went to as a child and as a teenager. So maybe, for example, the building that your old school was in was really old, or maybe you felt cold. So how could you make your elementary school building better or your high school building better? All right, so let's start with teachers. How would you make your teachers better in a public school? So I'm trying to think back to my elementary school and high school. Most of my teachers were pretty good. Some teachers shouted a lot and it scared me. So maybe I would have liked my teachers to shout less. So maybe less shouting. That's a bit too scary for me when I was a kid. What about you guys? Anything you would like to improve about teachers in like elementary or junior high school? Please let me know in the comments. Oh, that's better. Okay. And if you don't have any ideas for teachers, that's okay. We can move on to buildings. So, how would you like to improve your building, like from elementary or high school? So, was your building really old? Did it need renovations? Were you too hot or too cold all the time? Was your building like really stinky? What would you like to improve about your building? Please let me know. So, I don't know, for my high school building and my elementary school building, it was pretty good, actually. I don't know if I would change much. Both buildings were pretty well maintained. So for me, I wouldn't change anything, but maybe your schools are different. Anyway, let me know if you want me to add anything here and I will write it up here, okay? But I'm not seeing anyone typing anything out. Lessons. What would you change about your school lessons? So for me, I don't know if this is part of lessons, but I found there was too much homework when I was in elementary school and high school. So maybe less homework. I did not like doing homework because I was at school for like 6 hours a day. Then I had to go home and spend like 2 or 3 more hours every night on my homework. So it felt like I was at school for 9 hours. I really didn't like homework. So for me, I wish there was less homework. How about you guys? What would you change about your lessons? Was there too much math? Was there too much English? Were the lessons too boring or too complicated? Let me know in the comments. Type out what you'd like to change. All right, and classrooms. What would you change about your classrooms? For me, the carpet was kind of gross. So maybe I would have asked them to change the carpet. Yeah, the carpet on the floor when I was in elementary school was kind of old and dirty. So I think maybe this would have been nice if they changed the carpet because it was pretty gross. Let me know what you would change about your classroom. Were there too many students? Were there not enough students? Were the desks really old and bad? Were there not enough windows? Right, but yeah, please do type in some suggestions if you can. And the last one, technology. Technology. So I feel like it might have changed now in my old high school, but we used to have something called an overhead projector. So this is where a light shone on a piece of paper, and then the image was shown on a screen up here. So that was okay back then, but maybe now we could have, like, it'd be nicer to have more computers in the classroom. So more computers in the classroom may have been nice. What about you guys? What did you think about the technology in your elementary or junior high school? Let me know what you'd like to change. All right, so I'll give you guys a couple seconds to type out any answers if you are typing them out. afterwards, we're going to go to the listening part and fill in the gaps. All right, so I think I'm going to erase this for now. Okay, and let's get rid of all these. All right, all gone. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the listening. And the first time, I just want you to try to listen. You don't have to fill in the blanks. But the second time, I would like you to please try and fill in the blanks, okay? So, what we are going to be listening to is more teachers needed. So we're going to be listening to a news article about how there are not enough teachers and why we need more. Okay, so are you guys ready to start the listening? If so, get your pencils ready. Well, actually, again, you can just listen. You don't have to fill in the blank the first time. Now, I'm going to be writing on the board, so don't mind me while I write on the board. Just listen to the exercise first, okay? So here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
The world needs 69 million more teachers. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. A report from the United Nations, the UN, says the world needs another 69 million teachers by the year 2030. The UN agency, Unesco, made a promise in 2015 that every child in the world is to receive a primary and secondary education within the next 14 years. The agency says a lot of work needs to be done to find the number of teachers for schools. The biggest numbers of teachers needed are in sub-Saharan Africa and Southern Asia. UNESCO says there needs to be a huge effort to get the 69 million teachers. At the moment, UNESCO says there are massive shortages of teachers around the world. There are currently 263 million children who do not go to school. Around 25 million of these might never get an education. The UN report warns that there are shortages of teachers in countries with rising populations. This makes it harder to find enough teachers, as there are more and more children being born. The report says, without urgent and sustained action, the situation will deteriorate in the face of rising demand for education. UNESCO is also worried about the quality of teachers in some countries. In countries like Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, fewer than 60% of teachers in primary school have been trained. There are also worries about class sizes. The UN says in countries like Malawi, it is common to find over 100 children in classes. This has been a persistent problem for many years. This is Jerry Golland reporting from Ottawa, Canada.
Okay, so that was it, guys. How was that? How was the speed of the listening? Was it really fast? Was it okay? Or was it really slow? Tell me what you guys thought about the reading. I mean, the listening, sorry, not the reading. Okay, so there are 12 questions that we have to answer. Some of them have 3 gaps or 3 words. Some of them have 4 words, and some just have 2 words. So we're going to listen again. We're going to go from number 1 to number 6. So we're just going to listen to the first half, and I really want you to try to fill in the gaps as best as you can. Okie doke? All right, so we're going to listen to the first half of this listening. So here we go. Get your pencils ready, or your typey fingers, or whatever you're going to use. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
The world needs 69 million more teachers. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. A report from the United Nations, the UN, says the world needs another 69 million teachers by the year 2030. The UN agency, Unesco, made a promise in 2015 that every child in the world is to receive a primary and secondary education within the next 14 years. The agency says a lot of work needs to be done to find the number of teachers for schools. The biggest numbers of teachers needed are in sub-Saharan Africa and Southern Asia. UNESCO says there needs to be a huge effort to get the 69 million teachers. At the moment, UNESCO says there are massive shortages of teachers around the world. There are currently 263 million children who do not go to school. Around 25 million of these might never get an education.
Okay, so that was the first half. How did you guys do? Okay, so let's see if we can get the answers from number 1 to number 6. Okay, so who got number 1? Did anyone get number 1? Even if you only got 1 or 2 of these blanks, that's totally fine. Just type in anything you got, okay? So number 1, a report from the United Nations, the UN, says the 69 million teachers by 2030. So that's 10 years from now. We need 69 million teachers. That's a lot of teachers we need. Wow. This is around the world we need. Okay, so I don't see a response for number 1. That's fine. Number 2, any thoughts? The UN agency, UNESCO, made a promise in 2015 that every child in the world is to receive a primary and a secondary education within the next 14 years. Okay, I kind of just said the answer actually. I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. Did you guys get number 2? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the first letter of each word to give you guys a hint. W, N, A. Okay, so that's my hint for number 1. Number 2, I, T, R. Okie doke. And number 3, the agency says a lot of work needs to be done to of teachers for schools. No idea? So FTN. Okay. And right. Oh, okay. I'm starting to get some answers coming in now, actually. So someone said for number 1, the world needs another. Good. The world needs another. Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay. And number 2, I got is to. Very good. Is to receive is the answer I was looking for. So give is the opposite of receive. And for number 3, okay, someone said find the number. Nice. That is correct. Find the number. Okay, so essentially what's going on here. So the world, we need 69 million teachers. And UNESCO has made a promise. A promise, I guess? Don't know what the international sign for promise is. So they said every child in the world within 14 years. So between now and 2034, They are all going to have an education. Okay. However, if we want to find all of these teachers, there is a lot of work to do. Okay. The biggest number of teachers needed are in Sub-Saharan Africa and Southern Asia. Okay, so basically, this is Africa, a very bad image of Africa. So this part of Africa is the Sahara region, and everything else is called Sub-Saharan Africa. So basically, a big chunk of Africa needs more teachers. And South Asia. So South Asia usually refers to India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran. So that section of the world. Okay. UNESCO says there needs to get the 69 million teachers. Did anyone get number 4? At the moment, UNESCO says there are of teachers around the world. And number 6, there are currently 263 million children who do not go to school. Around 25 million of these might education. So let me know if you have any answers for these. So B, H, E. Number 5, M, S, and N, G, A. So let's see if you guys can fill in the blanks for number 4. And someone has gave me an answer. There needs to be a huge effort. Good. There needs to be a huge effort. So an effort, that means we have to try. We really have to try. Number 5, at the moment, UNESCO says there are, I don't see any answers. So what I was hoping for was massive shortages. Okay. So massive, this might be a new word for you, or it may not. So massive is huge. And what is a shortage? A shortage means not enough. So for example, during COVID-19, there was a massive shortage of toilet paper. All right, and number 6. Someone said never gets. Very good. So some students will never get an education. Oh, that sounds very sad. So if we can't get more teachers, many children will not get an education. Some will, but these guys won't. So what do we do? Okay, so I'm going to let you write down the answers quickly, but I'm going to erase the board in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's get rid of that. This looks more like South America, what I drew there. It doesn't look like Africa at all. Okay, so we're going to listen to the second half. So get your listening ears ready. So we're going to go from number 7 to number 12. So here we go. Let me just find the spot.
School. Around 25 million of these might never get an education.
Okay, so we're ready to start now. So here we go, starting off with number 7 in 3, 2, 1.
The UN report warns that there are shortages of teachers in countries with rising populations. This makes it harder to find enough teachers, as there are more and more children being born. The report says, without urgent and sustained action, the situation will deteriorate in the face of rising demand for education. UNESCO is also worried about the quality of teachers in some countries. In countries like Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, fewer than 60% of teachers in primary school have been trained. There are also worries about class sizes. The UN says in countries like Malawi, It is common to find over 100 children in classes. This has been a persistent problem for many years. This is Jerry Golland reporting from Ottawa, Canada.
Okay, so let's give this a try. If you guys need to listen one more time, please let me know, okay? If you're in the live class right now, let me know if you need to listen one more time. If you're watching the recording, you can go back to further in the video to listen again. Okay, so number 7, the UN report warns that there are teachers in countries with rising populations. Okay, so what was number 7? Did anyone get number 7? Even if you only got like this part, please type it in, okay? Number 8, this makes it harder to find enough teachers, more children being born. Okay, so here's a hint for number 7, there, A, S, O. This popped up in number 5. This is the same word that popped up in number 5, so that's a big hint. Number 8, A, T, A. So there are my hints for you. Okay, so see if you can fill in the blanks here, guys. Okay, I see someone answered number 7. Thank you. So they said shortages. Good. Yeah, there are shortages of. There are shortages of teachers in countries with rising populations. Okay, so for example, India has a rising population, so there are more people being born. However, there are not enough, I'm not going to write that out, but because there are so many more children in India, there's not enough teachers to teach all of them. Okay, and number 8. Someone typed as there are. Very good. As there are. All right, so this makes it harder to find enough teachers as there are more and more children being born. Okay, and number 9. The report says, without urgent and sustained action, without quick action, the situation will deteriorate. Rising demand for education. And UNESCO is also worried about teachers in some countries. Okay, so let's see if you guys can get number 9 and number 10. So number 9, here is my hint. ITFO. And number 10, TQO. So let's see if you can fill in the blanks there, guys. Okay, so someone wrote in the face of for number 9. Very good. In the face of. Excellent. And how about number 10? Did anyone get this one? Number 10? And I got the quality of. Good. The quality of. Okay. So basically what they're saying is if we don't quickly think of a way to get more teachers, the situation is going to get worse. There will be many kids who will not have an education. It's going to keep growing. Okay, number 11. There are also worries. There are also worries. I think there's only supposed to be 3 blanks, sorry. And number 12. This has been a persistent problem. All right, so W, A, no, not W. Ugh, I did this wrong. My bad. Okay. So worries. A, and FMY. Okay, so what do we got here? Number 11. So worries. Someone wrote about class. Very good, yes. Worries about class. Big, small, medium. What are these? These are sizes. Worry about class sizes. And number 12, this has been a persistent problem. Think about a set of time. Someone put for many years. Okay, thank you. For many years. Okay, so let's go over some of the, let's go over the story a bit. Okay, so for number 10, they said Unesco, which is part of the UN, they are worried about the quality of teachers. Okay, so basically so the quality of teachers. So remember characteristics, like maybe the teachers are not very knowledgeable. Maybe they don't have training. So they named off 3 countries in Africa, and so here are some primary school teachers. Okay, so these teachers, fewer than 60% of these teachers have been trained. Okay, so maybe for every 3 teachers, these 2 are trained. So these 2 know how to teach. But maybe this one doesn't know how to teach. They have not been trained. So this could be a problem. There are also worries about class sizes. So sometimes one classroom can have 100 children in it. That is crazy. That is a lot of children in one classroom. Okay, so that is the fill in the blank part. Now I'd like us to go to comprehension. Okay, so again, I'm going to let you guys, if you want to fill in the blanks, I'll let you do that, but I'm going to erase it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we'll get rid of all this. Okay. Ooh, how are we doing, guys? You doing all right? You doing okay? We've got about 12 minutes left. Should be enough time to get through the comprehension. Okay, so number 1. And let's do number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay, so number 1. By when does the world need another 69 million teachers? Okay, so we're looking for a date. So for example, right now, it's the year 2020. So by which year do we need 69 million teachers? Which year? Probably not 2020. What year? So if you know the answer, please type it in. If not, you can find the answer at the start of the reading. The first sentence will tell you, when do we need 69 million teachers? Okay, and number 2, what did UNESCO make to children in 2015? Okay, so the second sentence, the UN agency, UNESCO, made a, what did they make? So UNESCO made a, blah, 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 blah. So let you fill in the rest. So that might get a bit long, so I'm going to move number 3 and number 4 down. Number 3, number 4. Okay. Oh, got to answer for number 1, 2030. Yeah, 2030, that's right. This is when we need 69 million more teachers. 10 years from now, we need to get 69 million teachers. Okay, and number 2, did we get an answer for number 2? I'll leave number 2 blank for now. I'm going to go on to number 3. Okay, number 3. Where is the biggest number of teachers needed besides Asia? So, in the reading, they mentioned 2 areas of the world that really need teachers. One was South Asia, and what was the other place? It's a section of a continent. Not a country, but a continent. For example, we live in North America. Some of you are from South America. So tell me, which areas of the world do they need more teachers? Just one area. Okay. Number 2, somebody said UNESCO made a promise. Yeah, they made a promise to, and they said give education. Yeah, to give education. I think specifically what kind of education? Primary and secondary. So primary and secondary education. And then if you want to get really detailed, you could say within the next 14 years. Within the next 14 years. Okay, good. Thank you for your answer. Number 4. When did UNICEF say there were, okay, I don't know why it says UNICEF. I think it's supposed to say UNESCO, sorry. When did UNESCO say there were massive shortages of teachers? When did they say this? Let's see if I can find. Okay, so when did UNESCO say this? This is a bit of a tricky question. All right, number 3, somebody wrote Sub-Saharan Africa. Yes, very good. Sub-Saharan Africa, so that's the lower half of Africa. The majority of Africa is considered sub-Saharan, I believe. Okay, and number 4, again, this might be a little bit of a tricky question to answer, but when did UNESCO, not UNICEF, that's a typo, UNESCO, when did they say there are massive shortages of teachers? So I'll let you guys try to figure that out. I'm going to put up number 5 and number 6 in the meantime. Okay. Number 5, number 6. 5, 6. Number 5. How many children around the world might never get an education? The sad question. So how many children around the world may never go to school? They won't get an education. So this is a number. And it's a rather large number, unfortunately. Okay, and number 6. What are there more and more of in countries with rising populations? So look for the key more and more of. So there are more and more. Okay. So number 4, I don't see an answer. That is fine. So the key they say here, so when did UNESCO says there are massive shortages? At the moment, UNESCO says there are massive shortages of teachers around the world. So basically, they said this, so they said at the moment. So basically, they said this recently. There's no date. I'm sorry. This is a bit of a funny question. So recently, they said this. And number 5. Somebody said 25 million? Yes. 25 million students or 25 million children may never get an education. They might not go to school. Okay, so go ahead and please answer number 6. I'm going to write up number 7, number 8 in the meantime. We should be able to get through all these before the break. Number 7. Number 7. Number 8. Number 7. What does the report say there is a rising demand for? So a rising demand, that means people want more of something. For example, ever since COVID-19 hit in Vancouver, there has been a rising demand for dog adoptions. More people want to adopt a dog into their family. Okay, so what does the report say there is a rising demand for? And number 8, what is Unesco worried about the quality of? So they're worried about the quality of something. What is it? Okay. And number 6, I don't see an answer yet. Let's take a look and see what the answer is. Let's take a look. All right, so number 6, there are more and more children being born. That was the answer I was looking for. So there are more and more children being born. So that means there is going to be a rising demand for what? So let's see. It's a rising demand for just one word. It should be pretty simple, actually. There is a rising demand for, okay, someone said education. Yes, there is a rising demand for education. Absolutely. More people want education. There's more babies being born. We need more education. Okay, so let's do number 9 and number 10. And then I think that's going to be the end of our first class. Number 9. Okay. How many of Sierra Leone's primary school teachers have been trained? So this is going to be a percentage. They talk about percentages here. So in countries like Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, fewer than something percent of teachers have been trained. And number 10, number 10, let me write that down. How many children per class is it common to find in Malawi? I hope I'm saying this right. Something children per class. So we're looking for a number here. And number, what was it, 7? Oh, 8. Somebody said teachers. Yeah, they're worried about the quality of teachers. Good. Excellent, excellent. So, what about number 9 and number 10? Ooh, How many of Sierra Leone's primary school teachers have been trained? Somebody said under 60%. Very good. So under 60%. So that means maybe like 58% possibly. Not enough. And number 10, we got an answer for 100 students. Yes. Sometimes there can be as many as 100 children per class. That is crazy. That is too many babies in the classroom. Okay, guys, so it looks like we've come up to the end of our class. We're going to go to our second reading after the break. For now, take it easy. I will see you in 10 minutes. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and had a good break there. Got a quick little power nap in, or some water, perhaps. Okay, so we are going to move on to our second reading now. So this reading, this is quite an interesting one. This is a really popular trend that happened back in 2014. Do you guys remember the Als Ice Bucket Challenge? Does this ring a bell to you? Maybe it does, but maybe it doesn't. So, let me just finish writing up the challenge. So, the Ice Bucket Challenge. Okay, there we go. All right, so take a look at this picture here. Let's take a look. What do you see here? What's going on in this picture? What is happening here? So if you're here in the class, I'd like you to type in, let me know like what you think is happening. Describe what is going on in this picture right here. Okay, so obviously we have many people. What are these people doing though? I think your picture is in color. Mine is in black and white, so it's a little bit more difficult to tell. So let me know what you think is happening here. What are these people doing exactly? Looks like they're very wet. Why? What did they just do? So what are these guys doing? Okay, someone typed out that they are dumping water on themselves. Yeah, so they are dumping like ice cold water on themselves. Doesn't look very comfortable. Okay, now, so let's do a little research here. So this is going to help explain the Ice Bucket Challenge. Okay, so actually, maybe I should quickly explain this title. So you know what ice is, correct? Ice is the solid form of water. It's very cold. And a bucket. So this is a bucket. It's something that you can carry things in. Usually it's a plastic container used for carrying things. So all these guys, they are holding buckets over their head. Nice. Okay, so I would like you guys to look up this disease. You can Google it if you like. It is called ALS. It's called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or Lou Gehrig's disease. So you don't have to type that in. So ALS is the shortened form of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. So just type in ALS and tell me what you find. Tell me what you find. So I'll give you a minute or two to do that. Look this up. You can give me a short definition. You don't have to type out the whole Google page you find. I myself looked it up. I have a Google page ready. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So I got a little blurb here. What do you guys have for ALS? What did you find on Google? Okay. So, not seeing any answers yet. So I'm going to start putting down a few notes. So it's a disease. So a disease is a major illness. What else? So what does it do? It actually paralyzes people. It paralyzes people. So essentially, with this disease, so here's a person, and here they are. They're pretty healthy. They can walk, they can talk, they can do everything. Now, here is the brain. Woo! So, when the brain gets, like, when ALS happens, essentially what happens is the brain, usually, you know, when you want to raise your arm, your brain is doing the communication for you to raise your arm. However, once you have ALS in your body, suddenly that connection is broken. You can't raise your arm anymore. Soon you can't like move your legs, you can't move your arms. Soon you can't even breathe. And eventually you end up dying, unfortunately. So it's a scary disease. So it's disease, it paralyzes people. It stops communication between the brain and muscles, and there unfortunately is no cure for it. So the scary thing is once you get this, unfortunately you're probably going to die. It's very rare though. It's a pretty rare disease, so it's highly unlikely that you'll ever catch it. So don't worry too much. Okay, so basically ALS and this ice bucket challenge, they are strongly connected with one another. But how are they connected? You're going to find out later when we do the listening. So you're going to find out the connection between ALS and the ice bucket challenge later. Okay, let's do warm-up question number 3. Are there any current trends on the internet right now? Okay, do you know what a trend is? A trend is something that is popular. These are especially common on the internet these days. So one really common trend that I noticed, I don't know if it's still a trend or not, probably not, but flossing. So flossing is a dance where you go like this. I can't do it very well, but that was a trend on the internet for a while. Fidget spinners, where you had those little spinny things, like kids loved them. So that was another trend. So basically very popular things. Now, I don't know what's trending on the internet right now. Do you guys have any ideas? What kind of trends are there on the internet right now? If you know of any trends, please let me know because I actually don't know right now. I haven't been keeping up with my trends on the internet. Yeah, so please do tell me if you have any ideas. I'm gonna get rid of this poor ALS fella. And number 4. Do you know the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge? Okay, so ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Bucket Challenge. Okay, so have you guys heard of this before? Do you know of this challenge? Let me know if you do know about it or if not. So, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, this was a very popular challenge in 2014, right around this time of year, from about July to August. This is very popular when the weather got hot. Now, what do? Basically, the idea was you pour a bucket of ice water on yourself. And if you do it, you raise money for ALS research. So the idea was you tell your friends and family, hey, I'm gonna do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. I'm going to dump some cold water on me. I'm going to take a video of it. If I do this, you give me money so I can raise it for ALS research. So overall, it was a good cause. It had good intentions, but yeah, actually, no, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so basically, ice water on your head, raise money for the ALS research. Okay, so now that we got the warm-up out of the way, let's do some key vocabulary. So I'm going to get rid of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. I know somebody who did this. They put their video up on Facebook. It was my brother-in-law. He and his friend did the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge together. Okay. So I'm going to switch over to blue just to give the black pen a bit of a break. Right, so interview. Okay, so interview. This can be a noun or it can also be a verb, and it has the same meaning. Do you guys know what interview is? If you know this word, please type out the meaning to me. If you don't know the word, that's totally fine. I'm going to explain this word to you now. Sorry, talking too fast. Okay, so what is an interview? An interview, typically it happens between two people. Let's say they're sitting. He has 8 legs. Please don't ask me why. So let's say maybe they're at a coffee shop or they're on TV. So basically, this person, this is the interviewer. And then this is the guest. So the interviewer is asking a series of questions to the guest. So let's say, for example, maybe they're talking about ALS. So maybe this guy, he has ALS. So the interviewer is going to ask some questions to him. So he might ask, what is it like to have ALS? So he's asking questions to his guest. This is an interview. Now, again, this can be put in a newspaper. It could be put on a website, on a podcast, on the radio, or on TV. Okay, so let me write an example sentence. Today, I interviewed, so this is the verb form. I interviewed someone with ALS. They told me all about the disease, living with it. Okay, so that is what an interview is. So again, verb, he is interviewing the guest, or noun, this is an interview. Right now, they are having an interview about living with ALS. Okie doke? All right, so I'm going to write that down here, interview. For those of you watching this live, if you have any questions about these words or want me to give more examples or explanations, please let me know, okay? If not, I'm going to erase this. Take a good look at it. Take a picture if you need to. It's going in 3, 2, 1. Gown. All right, so that's interview. What else do we have? Creative. That's a good word. Creative. Creative, this is an adjective. Okay, so this is usually used to describe people or ideas. So, someone who is creative, for example, they are very good at coming up with new ideas or new ways of doing things. Creative people can be really good at drawing or making comics. Let me think of a good way to define this. creative. So I'm going to say someone who is creative can think of many different ways to do one thing. So let's say, for example, I give you a shape. Woo! Okay, so let's say I have this shape here. What do you think this is? What is this? Hard to say, hey? So creative people will often look at this and be like, oh, I know. It's a flower pot or it's a flower vase. It can hold a lot of flowers. So that's how they might look at this. Or they could also say, oh, or maybe it's a fish. This is a fish. So see how, oops, this is like kind of not that great looking. So yeah, this is a fish and this is his tail. So creative people can look at one shape and think of many different things about it. Okay, so that is creative. So next, what else do we have? Cool down. Okay, cool down. So this is a phrasal verb. Phrasal verb. So if it's past tense, you're going to say cooled down. Okay, so when you're really hot, you want to cool down. So good ways to cool down, to get your temperature down, are to drink water, which I should actually be doing right now. There we go. Another way to cool down is to jump into the pool. So here's a very hot person. And then if you want to cool down, so here he is, and maybe he has a fan. Here's a very bad fan. Fan. So he has cooled down. So one way to cool down is to turn on the fan or turn on the air conditioning. So this is a good one to cool down. Cool down. Now, it's not only talking about physically cooling down, but it can be also used when somebody is angry or upset about something. So let's say, for example, my husband broke my favorite cup. And I'm like, you broke my favorite cup. Dude, I'm so angry. Like, I'm really upset. And he's looking kind of like scared. So what do I need to do? I need to go cool down. So I go to the other room to calm down. I cool down a bit. So it can be used for when someone's angry or upset and they just calm down. So some people will say, whoa, okay, you need to cool down. Okay, so that is cool down. What else we got? Raise money. Well, that's a good one. Okay. So this is gone, and that's gone. Raise money. Raise money. Okay. So basically, let's think of a good charity. Oh, okay, let's say, for example, we have a bake sale. So we're selling muffins, cakes, and cookies. And so we want to raise money for a charity. So let's say UNICEF. So this is a charity that helps children around the world go to school or get clean water. So here I am. So what's going to happen is I'm having a bake sale. I made a bunch of cookies and cakes. So someone's going to give some money so they can buy a cake. And what happens is that if you get enough, you can get money, and then we can send it to this charity to help children. So when I was in elementary school, I raised money for UNICEF by having a bake sale. A bake sale. Now, it's not just charities you can raise money for. When I was in high school, I went on a school trip to Quebec so I could learn French. And I had to raise money so I could go to Quebec. So to do that, I sold books. I sold books and raised money so I could go to Quebec. So that's raise money. Okay. The ice bucket. Okay, I already described what the ice bucket challenge is, right? You take a bucket of ice water, you dump it on yourself. I don't think I need to explain that again. If you do want a second explanation, you can type out in the comments if you're watching this live. Okay, upload. Let me get rid of the board drawing. Okay. So, what is upload? Typically, this is a verb. Upload. You might already know this. So, to upload something means to put a file online, on the internet, online. So, usually this is a video, a podcast, or music, or photos. Yeah. So whenever you go on Facebook, sometimes you put photos on Facebook, right? So that's you uploading photos to Facebook. So typically, you're taking photos from your phone and putting them on Facebook or Instagram. So I'll make an example sentence. I used to upload many pictures on Instagram. So Instagram. So 7-8 years ago, I used to upload many photos on Instagram. I don't do this so much anymore. I don't really use Instagram. Okay, let's do charity. I feel like I've talked about this on my online classes a lot, charity. I'm going to put upload here because I think this is a good word. Upload. Charity. Okay, so this is a noun. So what is a charity? So it's basically, a charity is an organization. An organization that gives money. So it gives money to people or animals in need. Animals in need. Often the environment is a popular thing to give charity for. So the Als Ice Bucket Challenge, basically it's raising money for a charity. This charity helps with ALS research. So that's a charity. And disease. Okay. You might know this already. So a disease is basically a serious illness. Often it's a serious illness. So for example, if you get a cold or if you get the flu, that's not a disease. ALS, that is a disease. It's very serious. And finally, last one, go viral. Okay, this is a phrasal verb. So for example, past tense, you're going to say went viral. So I'm going to put this here because I think this is a very good modern word. So to go viral, that means to get extremely popular on the internet. So to become extremely popular. Extremely popular on the internet. So, for example, in 2012, the music video from Korea, Oppan Gangnam Style, that became viral really quickly. So it got super popular. So that's what go viral means. So I'm going to write an example sentence. Gangnam Style went viral on YouTube in 2012. Yeah, so that is what go viral means. Okay, guys, so that's it for our vocabulary. Now we're going to do the listening exercise. So I got a few comprehension questions here. I'm just going to erase the board first. Take a picture if you need to, but I'm going to erase it right now. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of all this mess. Okay. So, let's take a look at the comprehension questions quickly. All right, so number 1 is another fill in the blanks dealio. So A. Today, I'm interviewing somebody who found a creative way to Okay, so you got 2 words you got to fill in there. Number 2, who created the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge? Okay, so listen for a person's name for number 2. Number 3, so there are going to be 2 answers we need to find here. What is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge? What do people do it for? So the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge is people do it. People do it for Okay, and number 4, why do people use ice water? So why do people use this really cold ice water? And number 5, okay, you might already know this answer because I already told you before. In what year did this internet challenge go viral? So you're gonna look for a year. So it went viral in a year. Okay, guys, so those are the questions I want you to try to answer while we do this listening. All right, so the first time, you don't have to fill in the blanks. You can just listen. Okay, so let me pull up the file. Okay. All right, I found it. And it's just downloading because my phone is slow like that. Okay. All right, so we're going to start now. Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, listeners. What a great sunny day today. Today I'm interviewing somebody who found a really creative way to cool down and raise money. Please welcome Pat Quinn, who will talk to us about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Hello, Mr. Quinn.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. Now, Mr. Quinn, can you tell us what the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge is?
Certainly. The Ice Bucket Challenge is an internet challenge. People upload videos of themselves pouring buckets or large containers of ice water on themselves. Then, they must tell 3 friends to do the same thing. And all the money we collect is for the ALS charity.
Yes, it's quite an interesting challenge. But why ice water?
Well, ALS is a disease and it sometimes makes people's bodies feel freezing, like they are in ice water. So, I thought it was a cool way to understand the disease better.
Yes, it definitely is. It went viral too. In the summer of 2014, There were millions of videos uploaded to YouTube. And how much money did you raise that year?
Over $115 million.
Amazing! The ALS charity was a huge success. It's part of American pop culture. Thank you for your time today, Mr. Quinn.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so that was the listening. How was that for you guys? Was that easier than the first listening this morning? Was the speed pretty good? Or was it too fast? Too slow? You can let me know in the comments. Okay, so now we're gonna listen a second time, and this is where I want you to try and answer all of the questions, okay? So here we go. So let's take a look. Actually, I don't think I need this. Okay, so here we go, second time. Get your pencils ready. Get ready to answer these questions. Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, listeners. What a great sunny day today. Today I'm interviewing somebody who found a really creative way to cool down and raise money. Please welcome Pat Quinn, who will talk to us about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Hello, Mr. Quinn.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. Now, Mr. Quinn, can you tell us what the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge is?
Certainly. The Ice Bucket Challenge is an internet challenge. People upload videos of themselves pouring buckets or large containers of ice water on themselves. Then, they must tell 3 friends to do the same thing. And all the money we collect is for the ALS charity.
Yes, it's quite an interesting challenge. But why ice water?
Well, ALS is a disease, and it sometimes makes people's bodies feel freezing, like they are in ice water. So, I thought it was a cool way to understand a disease better.
Yes, it definitely is. It went viral too. In the summer of 2014, there were millions of videos uploaded to YouTube. And how much money did you raise that year?
Over $115 million.
Amazing! The ALS charity was a huge success. It's part of American pop culture. Thank you for your time today, Mr. Quinn.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, so I think the second time that should be enough. If there are any live listeners who need to listen one last time, please do let me know. For people who are watching the recorded version, feel free to rewind the video and listen again. Okay, so let's do the questions. So today I'm interviewing somebody who found a creative way to and What were the answers for number 1? So there's actually, these are 2 phrasal verbs. We talked about these. They were up here actually. So these 2 words are in this box. 2 phrasal verbs. What were they? Oh, excuse me. Sorry, a bit sleepy because I haven't had my caffeine today. Because my stomach isn't feeling good, I can't have any caffeine today. So I'm just drinking herbal tea. So that's why I'm a little bit sleepy. I apologize. Oh boy, do I miss coffee. Oh lordy. Okay, so I'm going to leave this blank for now, but I'm going to put a hint. C, D, and R, M. See if you can figure out how to fill in the blanks for number 1 with my hints. Okay, number 2. Who created the Ice Bucket Challenge? Okay, so what was the name of the person they were interviewing, essentially? So, please welcome who will talk to us about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Did you guys catch his name? It started with a P. His first name starts with a P, and his last name ends with a Q. Wonder if you guys caught it or not. Again, if you want to listen one more time, do let me know, okay? Now, number 3. The ALS, what is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge? So the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge is, what is it exactly? And what do people do for it? Like, what do people have to do? So see, this is a bit of a longer one. Okay, so I think, sorry, I totally messed the second part up. All right. Maybe we'll listen one last time. Let's listen one last time, especially for number 3, because that might be tricky. It's a bit of a longer one. Okay, so last time, guys. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, listeners. What a great sunny day today. Today I'm interviewing somebody who found a really creative way to cool down and raise money. Please welcome Pat Quinn, who will talk to us about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Hello, Mr. Quinn.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. Now, Mr. Quinn, can you tell us what the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge is?
Certainly. The Ice Bucket Challenge is an internet challenge. People upload videos of themselves pouring buckets or large containers of ice water on themselves. Then, they must tell 3 friends to do the same thing. And all the money we collect is for the ALS charity.
Yes, it's quite an interesting challenge. But why ice water?
Well, ALS is a disease and it sometimes makes people's bodies feel freezing, like they are in ice water. So, I thought it was a cool way to understand a disease better.
Yes, it definitely is. It went viral too. In the summer of 2014, there were millions of videos uploaded to YouTube.
Okay, so I know we didn't finish it, but that's pretty much most of the comprehension there. All right, so let's see if you guys can answer the questions now. If you guys have any answers for number 1 and number 2, definitely feel free to type them out. Okay, so number 3, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge is, what is it exactly? So type in your answers now if you can. And what do people do in this challenge? What do they do in this challenge? All right, and number 4, why do people use ice water? Why? Why not hot water? Why not warm water? Why does it have to be ice water? Okay, I'm starting to see some answers for number 1. We got cool down and raise money. Excellent. Yeah, so this guy made a creative way to cool down and raise money for charity, for ALS. All right, did we get the answer for number 2? Somebody typed in Pat Quinn. Good, yeah. So it was Pat Quinn. Quinn. Pat Quinn. Okay. Number 3. So what is the Ice Bucket Challenge? Did someone type? Okay, someone said it's an internet challenge. Yes. So is an internet challenge. That's exactly what it is. So, internet challenge. Yeah, so, and what do they do? So I'll let you guys type that part in. What do they do for this challenge? Let's take a look. I have my answers here. This is a long one, so don't worry if it takes you a while to type it out. But I do see some answers coming in anyway. So seeing the answer on the screen, they're saying people upload videos of themselves. Yeah, so people upload videos, probably to YouTube, of themselves. And what are they doing? Pouring ice water. Pouring buckets of ice water. Buckets of ice water on their on their bodies basically. Good. Thank you. So yeah, basically they're pouring ice water on their bodies And I'm not going to write all this down. It's a long answer, but they're raising money for ALS. They give the money to an ALS charity. Okay, I'll write that down quickly. Then they give money to ALS charities. Okay, so number 4, this is an interesting one. Why do they use ice water? Did anyone catch this? And if you didn't get number 4, you can tell me number 5. Number 5 is probably pretty easy to answer. So if you don't get number 4, that's okay. You can just tell me what number 5 is. Okay, so somebody has said, oh, summer of 2014. Good, for number 5, yeah. So in the summer, this went viral in the summer of 2014. I remember seeing this on the internet a lot. Yes, I remember this challenge very well. Okay, so number 4, it's a little bit of a long answer as well. So I'm going to get rid of number 1 at the top. And I'm going to get rid of number 2 just so we have some space to write number 4. Okay, so somebody typed out for number 4 because it's freezing. Yeah, they kind of got the right idea. Okay, so they use ice water. Let's see what the script says. Okay, so yeah, basically ALS, so this disease makes people's bodies feel like they're freezing. Feel like they're freezing. So makes feel like they're freezing. So the idea here is that when you pour ice water on your head, like on your body, you get really cold and maybe you can't move. You're like, I'm so cold, I can't move. So when you put a bucket of ice water on your body, you can't move. Apparently, it's similar to ALS because they can't move their bodies. It's like they're freezing. So that's why they are doing it as an ice bucket challenge. So essentially, it's a good way, or he said specifically, it's a cool way for everyone to understand the disease better, the ALS disease. To understand the disease better. Yeah, there we go. So that was kind of the answer I was looking for. But yeah, the important thing is, yeah, freezing. Like, it's freezing just like ALS. You feel like you're freezing. Okay, guys, good stuff. Thank you for doing the comprehension. Now, we're going to do discussion, and then we're going to come up to our second break after. So, yeah, we're going to get through this whole thing. Excellent. So let me get rid of this. And let's get rid of that. Okay. And then we'll get rid of all this. Cool. All right. Now, okay, number 1. So discussion. Would you try the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge if your friends told you to? Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention. Okay, I'll draw a little quick picture. So let's pretend, so here's YouTube. Boop. Okay, so here's a video. Stop, pause, whatever. So this is me. And so yeah, that's me. And then I put the ice water. So this is a video. I put the ice water on. And then when I do this, afterwards, I name 3 people who I want to also do this challenge. So then on the video, I'm going to say, I nominate, or I want Jiyun, Hayate, and Maria to do this challenge too. So if you see this video of me doing the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, then I'm going to be like, okay, I did the Ice Bucket Challenge. Now I want Ji-eun, Maria, and Hayate, you have to do this challenge too. So now because I said that, you are supposed to also do this. You upload a video to YouTube and you do the same thing. And then you guys get to name 3 people to do this challenge. Okay, so what question number 1 is asking, it's like, so if this happened to you, if I did an Ice Bucket Challenge and I said, hey, you guys, you got to do it, would you do this? Would you try the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge if your friends told you to? Yes or no? Now, it doesn't matter if you say yes or no. There's no wrong answer and there's no judgment, I promise. Ugh. Would you guys do this Ice Bucket Challenge if your friends told you to? For me, I don't think I would do it, to be honest. I really don't like cold water. So even if my friend said, I nominate Melanie to do the Ice Bucket Challenge, I don't think I'd do it. No, I don't think it's for me. It seems too cold. I really don't like cold water. But yeah, let me know if you guys would or would not do this. Me, I don't think I would do it. And question number 2. So even though this internet challenge raised a lot of money for ALS challenges, do you think there are some problems with it? So, are there any problems with the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge? ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Now, it was nice that it raised a lot of money. That's awesome. But there were a couple of problems that happened apparently. Do you guys know what those problems are? Can you think of them? What do you guys think? Do you think there are some problems with the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge? Any thoughts? Somebody said too cold. Yeah, the water's too cold perhaps. So this actually happened. Well, someone did this challenge and the water was too cold and they ended up having heart problems. I'm not sure if they died or not, but it was someone who had a bad heart. So when they dumped the ice water on them, they're like, and they keeled over. I can't remember if they died or not, but I think a few people had some problems with the ice water. It actually was kind of dangerous for them. So yeah, it's potentially dangerous for certain people. Not everybody, but I think like this was rare, but it did happen. There was a little bit of danger with the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. So yeah, that definitely did not want me. Sorry, I'm tripping over my own words. So when I found out that it was a bit dangerous, that made me afraid to try it. Yeah. But yeah, this was very popular. Like for a while, it seemed like everybody wanted to do this challenge, to the point where I was thinking, oh, maybe I should do the challenge. Everybody else is doing it, maybe I should do it too. But then when I heard about that was dangerous, I was like, okay, I don't want to try it. Never mind. I don't like cold water anyway. Not my thing. Okay, I'm just going to get some tea. There we go. All right, so it looks like it is time for us to end our class now, guys. So we're going to take another 10-minute break, and then we're going to have our elective class afterwards. So have a good 10-minute rest and see you soon. Bye-bye. Hello, guys. Last lesson of the day. How are we feeling? Hope we're feeling all right. All right, so we've had a very listening heavy day, and we're going to be talking more about it. Not in the same sense that we've been doing for the first 2 classes. So we did those 2 listening exercises. Now, for our elective, we're going to talk about the difference between hear and listen. This is a common mistake made in English, so don't worry if you've made this mistake. We're going to work on how to avoid this mistake. So, I would like you to please pull out this sheet here. It should say hear and listen. Very simple. Okay, so first off, we're going to go over the differences and when to use each of these respective verbs. Okay, so the similarities. A, they are both verbs. B, they both involve the sense of the ear. That's where the similarities kind of end though. So, hear. What does hear mean? So, if you look at the notes here, you'll see this is something that is automatic. It's not something we can control. So, for example, right now, I am talking. Can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me. So, now, let me think of an example sentence. Or here are, basically it's used with noises. You can hear noises. You can hear voices. Or you could hear things like explosions. Or dogs barking. Dogs barking. Okay, I'm just going to switch over to blue for the example sentence. Okay, so last night I could not sleep because, because my dog, because I could hear my dog. I could hear my dog barking all night long. Oh, that sounds like an awful night. So that is what hear is. If my husband snores in his sleep, so snore is, that is snoring. So when my husband snores in his sleep, I can hear it, and sometimes I cannot sleep. Okay, so here's another example sentence. Can you hear me? So this is common when you're on the phone. Sometimes the reception's not so good, so you might be on the phone. Hello? Oh, sorry, I can't hear you right now. Can you hear me? The reception's not so good. Oh, can you hear me now? Okay, I can hear you now. So when you're talking about ability, like if you're able to hear something, this you often say, can you hear me? Oh, I can hear you. Okay, so that is hear. So remember, it's automatic. We cannot control it. Now, listen. Listen is kind of the opposite. So, listen is controllable. Controllable. So you can choose. This is the key. You can choose to listen to something. Listen to something. Something. So think about it like, you know how with watch and look? So with watch and look, you can choose to look or watch something. See, you can't control. Like it's automatic. So remember when we were doing see, look, and watch? This is kind of the same thing. See and hear are automatic. You can't control. Listen, look, and watch. They are controllable. You can choose whether you want to listen to something. Okay, so what are some things you can listen to? You can listen to music. You can listen to like a podcast, a radio. You can listen to a speeches. You can listen to a conversation. Yeah, those are some very common things you can listen to. All right. Now, be careful. Remember, listen is often followed by to. So I'm going to write an example sentence. I often listen to music when I go to bed. Go to bed. All right. So, and that is one example. Listen to music. What's another way? What's another good example? I'll give you a good one. Hey, could you listen to my speech? Listen to my speech. Okay, so let's say, for example, I have a big speech tomorrow, but I want to practice saying my speech. So I asked my husband to help me. I said, hey, Jose, could you listen to my speech? So I'm asking him to sit down and actually listen to it and see what he thinks. Now, it's different if I say, hey, can you hear my speech? That means like, are you able to hear me or not? So that's a bit of a difference. So this is here and this is listen. I think that's everything I wanted to cover. If you have any questions about either of these, let me know. In the meantime, take a picture if you need to. I might erase this in a bit, maybe not now, but I'm going to erase it later. Okay, so we have quite a few examples here, but do take note. I don't know what happened, but half of these are see, look, and watch verbs. So you can ignore the see, look, and watch verbs. So I think we have 4 examples. I can't hear you. Could you speak louder, please? Okay, so remember, this is ability. I'm going to put ability in brackets. Did you hear the thunder last night? So again, thunder, that is a sound. So I should put sound. Sounds. And you should always listen to your mother's advice. So this is something you can choose. You don't have to listen to your mother's advice, but you should choose to. Can we listen to some different music? So pretty much music, we almost always use listen. Almost always. Okay, so I think that's it for this side. So we got through that really fast. Again, if you are here right now watching the class, please let me know if you want me to go over any of these or not. Okay, I'm going to erase the board and we're going to do some idioms related to listen and hear. All right, so we're going to get rid of this. And we're going to get rid of that. Okay. Whew. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, we have listen in. So this is our first idiom, to listen in to something. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, so here, sorry, I'm so sleepy right now. My bad, guys. I'm tripping over my words and losing my train of thought. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I wasn't able to have coffee, and I think I've gotten in the habit of drinking coffee every day to wake me up. Now, because I can't have coffee today, that's why I'm kind of like, oh, excuse me, sorry. That's why I'm like yawning a lot. That's why I look really sleepy. This tea has no caffeine. It's not really helping me wake up. It's just to help my stomach feel better. Okay, listen in. Okay, so listen in. This idiom has two different meanings. So the first meaning, I'm not going to write it down because you do have the definitions here. But basically, it means to hear or overhear the conversations of others. So for example, let's say these two people, so they're having a conversation. Maybe you're at a cafe. You're over here. And maybe you're listening in on them. Like, it's kind of interesting. So this is what to listen in means, like to listen in on. So, for example, my favorite awful hobby is to listen in on, we often say listen in on, other people's conversations at coffee shops. Do you guys like to do this? Is this something you like to do? I don't know if I really like to do this per se, but sometimes they speak so loudly that I can't help but hear them. So sometimes I end up listening in on their conversation. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for all this yawning. I promise I'm not bored. I'm just sleepy. Okay. Now, let's see, number 2. So to listen in, so this means to listen to a broadcast or a radio program. So let's say here's the radio, very old-fashioned radio, and yeah, this is you. Yeah, listening in on, yeah. So to listen in, so basically it means to listen to a radio broadcast or some music. So, for example, every evening I listen in, I think you put 2, yes, I listen in to my favorite radio station. Radio station. All right, so these are the 2 different listen-ins. Now, I would like you guys to try and make some example sentences. So, for number 1, can you make an example for listen in on? Or if you want, you could do listen in, like this one. You can just make one example sentence. You can either do the eavesdropping one or you can do like the radio one. So please write one example sentence. If you're in the live class watching now, please send it to me. If you're at home watching the recording, I would still like you to make your own example sentence, okay? Ready, set, go. Just gonna get some water and some tea while you guys type out your answers. Hopefully someone's typing out their answers. Okay. And my tea's all done. Oh. And 3 more idioms after this. Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, my bad. All right, I don't see an answer yet. That's okay. Maybe you're still typing up. That's totally fine. Let me see. I'll try and make a second example sentence for listen in. I don't really like this one. Let's take a look. Let's see. I'll make another. So I was listening in last night to my favorite radio station. To my Well, it's kind of the same sentence actually as the one above. I'm gonna get rid of it. Sorry. I can't think of another good sentence for the second example. I'm sorry. If I can think of something, I will let you know. Okay. So I don't see answers coming in. That's okay. Don't worry if you don't have any examples. We're gonna move on to the next idiom. Okay. Get rid of all this. All right. Listen to reason. Okay. Listen to reason. Okay. So, what does listen to reason mean? So, basically, to listen to reason means like you should pay attention to some good, sensible advice or an argument. Okay. Oh, sorry. So, to listen to reason. Okay. Oh my goodness. I think it's because it's almost lunchtime. I'm starting to lose my steam. I'm sorry. I'm moving very slow right now, I know. Okay, come on, brain. Work with me here. Okay. My husband never listens to reason. So it means he never listens to good advice. He always does things his own way. His own way. So let's say, for example, his car broke down and someone said, oh, you should take your car to the repair shop. He'll be like, nah, I don't need to do that. I can fix it myself. Like, I can fix my own car. Repair shops are expensive. And then he tries to fix his car and he makes it worse. So this is just an example, by the way. He does listen to reason. But yeah, if my husband is not going to take advice from other people, especially if it's good advice, he doesn't listen to reason. All right, so now I'd like you guys to come up with a sentence. I'd like you to make your own example sentence for listen to reason. So go ahead and please write up your example sentence now. I'll try to think of another example sentence too. Let's see. Listen to reason. Listen to reason. Listen to reason. So sometimes people say this at the beginning of sentences, like, listen to reason. So let's see. If you don't pay your monthly rent soon, you're going to get kicked out of your apartment. Kicked out of your apartment. Okay, so that's my second example sentence. So this usually happens in a conversation. So let's say it's me and a friend. And let's say my friend and I are talking, and I say, oh, I'm late on rent again, but whatever, I'll just pay it later. And my friend says, you've been missing your rent a lot. I don't think you should keep missing your rent. Something bad's gonna happen if you don't pay your rent, Mel. And I say, dude, it's fine. I don't care anymore. Like, they can get their rent next month. And then my friend's like, okay, Mel, listen to reason. If you don't pay your monthly rent soon, you're going to get kicked out of the apartment. Like, you won't be allowed to live there anymore. So my friend is telling me to listen to her advice. So that's another example for listen to reason. Okay, again, I'm not seeing any example sentences pop up, which is too bad. Come on, guys. I'd like to see some example sentences here. All right, so we're going to move on to another idiom then, the pin drop. All right, so let's get rid of this. Oh. Okie doke. So this next one, it's so quiet you could hear a pin drop. It's so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Okay, and remember, this could be past tense. So, or it was so quiet. So it depends if this was past tense or present tense. Okay, so what is a pin drop? Okay, so this is a pin. So this is something, you might put in your clothing or put on a board, but it's sharp. You don't want to poke yourself with it. So pins are very tiny though. They're like about this small. They're very light, very small things. So normally if you drop a pin, you're not going to hear it. So yeah, when you drop a pin on the floor, usually you can't hear it because there's so much noise going around. However, maybe you're sleeping in your bedroom and it's really quiet, like the window's shut and like you can't hear anything at all. And it's so quiet that you could actually ping, hear a pin drop. And you're like, oh, so this you can notice. This means you can notice the tiniest of sounds. This means it's very quiet. All right, so let me think of an example. I know there are examples here already, but I think it's nice if you get a lot of examples. Okay. Let's see. My classroom. So right now, my classroom is so quiet that I can hear a pin drop. That I can hear a pin drop. None of my students are responding to my questions. Hint, hint. Okay. So, this is more, not so much just an online setting, but let's pretend in real life I'm teaching and I'm like, okay guys, so who can give me an example sentence for this idiom? And then everyone, they just sit there quietly. No one talks, no one moves. So my classroom was so quiet that I can hear a pin drop. Or I guess I could hear a pin drop. I could. Sorry, my bad. I could hear a pin drop. Okay, so might be a tall order, I don't know, but any students who are watching me right now, please try to make an example sentence for this. Pretty please and thank you. Make an example. It can be a short example sentence, okay? I don't mind if it's short. Okay. Whew. Let's see. I guess I can try and make a second example sentence. Let's see. What's another good example sentence? Let's see. The room was so quiet, you could hear a pin drop. You could hear a pin drop. Okay, So that's only half the sentence. I need to make the first half the sentence, I think. So, everyone listened quietly with great interest to the woman's speech. All right, oh, here we go. Listen. Okay, so people are choosing to listen to this woman, and she has a speech. Everyone's so interested. They're not talking to each other. They're quietly listening to this woman. And the room was so quiet, you could hear a pin drop. So whenever the woman stopped speaking, like the room was completely silent. All right, so once again, I'm not seeing any example sentences pop up on the screen. That's okay. We're going to do one last idiom, to hear someone out. Okay. Ooh, how you doing, guys? You getting hungry for lunch? We got about 25 minutes, so less than 25 minutes, so we're getting close. Almost time for lunch. I'm definitely getting a little bit hungry. Maybe some lunch will wake me up. Okie dokie. Hear someone out. To hear someone out. Okay. So basically, to hear someone out means to listen to someone else's side of the argument or to someone's opinion. So, for example, let me think. So let's say my husband, actually this is actually kind of happening right now, or happened recently. So I want a dog. I really want a dog. My husband, he doesn't really want a dog though. So we were kind of going back and forth and talking about it. So the other day I said to my husband, hey, Jose, listen, I know you don't really want a dog, but hear me out. I think a dog will be really great for getting us to go out and exercise more. And I think you'll have fun with the dog too. So that is the hear someone out idiom. Okay, so I'm going to write that example sentence down. So I know you don't want a dog, but hear me out. So basically that means just listen to my side of the argument, okay? So listen to me and then decide if you like the idea or not. But hear me out. I think having a dog would be great. Would be great for us getting more exercise. More exercise. So that's my example there. So you can also hear someone else out. So here we got a good example. I broke up with my boyfriend after he lied to me, but I agreed to meet with him today to hear him out. So he has a side of the argument he wants to present to her. So here, you can say hear me out, hear you out, hear him out, hear her out, hear us out, hear them out. So this is how you can, depending on the subject or object, it's going to change. All right, let's think of another example sentence. Of course, I want you to please try to make an example sentence and type it out, okay? All right. Let me think of a good example. I'm going to use something else. Let's see. Let's see. I know our neighbors. See, I know our, no. So I can't think of a really good example sentence right now. Okay, I got one. So, right. I know my parents can be overbearing. So sometimes they give too much advice, but maybe we should hear them out. We should hear them out. So let's say, for example, my husband and I, we decide, oh, you know what? We're going to move to another city. We're done with Vancouver. Let's get out of here. But my parents say, oh, but I don't think you should move too fast, guys. Think about it. If you leave Vancouver, if you sell your place, you can't come back to Vancouver. Don't rush things. So maybe then maybe I say to my husband, I know my parents can be overbearing, but maybe we should hear them out. Maybe they are right about us and maybe we shouldn't move. Maybe we should take our time. Okay, so that's it for our idioms related to listen and hear. Okay, so I'm going to erase the board and we're going to move on to discussion. We're going to do discussion for the last 20 minutes. Hopefully that will be enough stuff for us to do for the next 20 minutes. Okay, so that's done. That's gone. Ooh. Okay. Discussion, where we talk about the things, and my pen is dying, so I'm gonna throw it away. That says discussion, by the way. Let me write it with a blue pen. Black pen is useless, so I'll get a new one later. All right, let's do this. Okay, guys. Question number 1. What kind of music do you like? What kind of music do you not like? And why? Also, I'd like you to try to use the appropriate word. So with music, do we say, I like to hear classical music, or I like to listen to classical music? Which is best to say? So for me, I like to, I really like reggae music. Reggae music. Okay. So what should I say here? I like to hear reggae music, or I like to listen to reggae music. What do you guys think? Any thoughts? Ooh. Reggae music. Okay, someone said listen to. Nice, that's right. So I like to listen to. Remember, with listen, we almost always have to after it. Listen to. So I like to listen to reggae music because I really like the beat, and what else? I don't know. It's just very relaxing to listen to. So if I ever have a party with my friends, I almost always put reggae music on. You guys do know what reggae music is, right? Buffalo Soldier, do, 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 do. Na, na, na. I can't remember the rest of the words. Bob Marley, you know. I'm not very musical today, sorry. Okay. Now I'd like you guys to tell me, what kind of music do you like to listen to? And why do you like listening to that type of music? Now, and what kind of music do you not like? What do I not like? I don't like listening to, it's not much, I guess rap sometimes. But not sometimes I don't mind rap, but sometimes I really don't like rap or R&B. R&B. I don't like listening to rap or R&B because it's always on the radio. Like every time I turn on, like go into like a store or turn on the radio, there's a lot of rap and R&B. And so the lyrics, I don't really like the lyrics of most rap and R&B songs. But again, not all rap and R&B songs. Sometimes I do like them. It depends on my mood. It really depends on my mood. Yeah. What about you guys? So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Okay. Ooh, all right. Number 2. Who is your favorite singer or band? Oh, that's cool. All right. Who is your favorite singer or band and why? Favorite singer or band. So if you have a favorite singer or a favorite band, please let me know. For me, my favorite band is probably Nightwish. I don't know if you guys probably don't know them. They're not super popular in Canada. They are a metal band from Finland. Metal band from Finland. So I like metal music. So I think it's quite fun and intense to listen to. Not all metal, but Nightwish makes some very beautiful sounding metal music. They don't just use guitars and keyboards, but they also use like they have an orchestra, like violins, trumpets, clarinets, flutes, like drums. It's amazing. They do such a good job. Also, their singing voices are wonderful. So yeah, Nightwish, probably my favorite music group of all time. Let me know if you guys have a favorite band or singer. Taylor Swift, does anyone here like Taylor Swift? I enjoy listening to her a lot. She's not my favorite, but I really do like her. Yeah, so let me know in the comments, guys. Oh, sorry. Oh, yawning so much today. I know, I'm bad. Oh, okay. Number 3. Oh, are you a good singer? Are you guys good singers? So here you could just say yes or no. Or you could say, I am a good singer. Or, no, I am not a good singer. So yeah, let me know in the comments. I've been told that I'm a good singer. I don't know if I'm that good though. I think I'm an okay singer, personally. All right, so let me know, guys. Please type out your question. Please type out your responses. It's so much more interesting if you guys can type out some responses to me, okay? Otherwise, I get super sad when I'm just talking to myself. Wah. Okay. Ooh. Okie dokie. Let's see. Number 4. Oh. This is a good question. Can you concentrate on other things while listening to music? So you guys understand this question, right? So for example, maybe you are doing homework while there is some music playing. Can you do this? Can you concentrate on your homework or assignments or work, or is it difficult for you to do this? So let me know in the comments if you can concentrate on other things while listening to music. So for me, yes, usually I can concentrate on other things while listening to music. So like I said before, as a student, I take online classes and I have homework to do, reading assignments to do. So when I had to do my homework, I would usually listen to music. And whenever I'm marking your guys' assignments, actually, I'm listening to music as well. So yes, I can concentrate on other things while listening to music. Let me know if you can or can't in the comments below. Okay, guys, 10 minutes. Last bit. We're in the home stretch. Number 5. Oh, interesting. Can you play a musical instrument? If so, what do you play? Okay, so can you guys play any musical instruments like the guitar or the piano? So for me, yes, I can play the trumpet and the clarinet. I don't play them very much anymore, but I used to play them a lot more often when I was younger. So, yeah, I liked music a lot when I was a teenager. I loved to listen to it and I loved to play it. So I can play the trumpet and the clarinet and a tiny bit of the ukulele. So let me know if you guys can play any instruments. Please type out your comments below. Okay. Number 6, do you enjoy music videos? Do you enjoy music videos, guys? Let me know if you do or don't. For me, I don't really enjoy them that much. Sometimes I'll watch them. Usually I don't. I find them too distracting. So for example, I can listen to music while doing homework, but I cannot watch music videos while doing homework. Otherwise, so let's take away this. So let's pretend this is a TV and this is a person and they're singing. Then I get very distracted and then I can't do my homework anymore. So that's why I don't like music videos that much, because I find them a little too distracting for me. I just like to listen to music. That's me personally. Maybe you guys feel different. Let me know if you feel differently. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, now we're changing. We're going away from music to something a little bit more interesting. Gossip. Do you guys know what gossip is? So this can be a noun or a verb, but gossip is basically talking about other people behind their back. So I'm going to give you an example. So there's 2 types of gossip. There is celebrity gossip. So this is not behind the celebrity's back. The celebrities know that people are talking about them. So, I don't know, let's say for example, Taylor Swift. I'm just going to say T Swift for short. And so these people are talking about Taylor Swift's love life. So for example, I heard T Swift is dating 2 guys at the same time. So that's gossip. That's celebrity gossip. So like, I heard Taylor Swift broke up with her boyfriend after 1 week of dating him. Now she's dating 2 guys at the same time. Isn't that crazy? That's celebrity gossip. All right, and the second one is just regular plain old gossip. So this is one that can be especially harmful to your friends and family if you're not careful. So let's say, for example, this is Bob. He's just doing his thing. And then these guys are talking about, they are talking about Bob. They're like, hey, did you hear? I heard Bob, he lost his job and he's doing awfully right now. And like, so maybe you're not, usually when you're gossiping about people, it's not really nice things. Or like, oh, I hear Bob, I hear his breath stinks. Yeah, his breath is disgusting. Ugh, stinky breath. He's so lame. Yeah, so gossip, not very nice. All right, so discussion number 7. What do you think of gossip? Like, so do you like it or do you not like it? Do you think it's enjoyable to listen in on people's lives or issues? Listen in on. Oh, okay. So, what do you guys think about gossip? Do you like it? You can write down your answers below. For me, I don't think gossip is that good. Yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of gossip. I think it could be kind of mean. So for me, listening in on other people's lives and issues, not very enjoyable for me personally. I try not to do it. It's hard not to do it, but I try not to do it. It can be fun to have a little bit of drama though. So let me know if you like to listen in on gossip. Okay, I think we have time for 2 more questions. Number 8. Oh, sorry, I thought I was going to burp there, but I guess not. Do you like to do things spontaneously, or do you like to listen to reason first? Okay, do you guys know what spontaneous means? Okay, so spontaneously is an adverb. Okay, so spontaneous. This is an adjective, and then if you add ly, it's an adverb. So to do things spontaneously means to do things without thinking about them. So for example, if I'm hungry and I'm walking down the street, I'm gonna be like, oh, let's go get some spaghetti. So that's me kind of spontaneously buying my lunch. So sometimes I buy my lunch spontaneously. Like I'll just look at a restaurant and then just buy the food. So do you like to do things spontaneously, or do you like to listen to reason first? So remember what listen to reason is? Listen to someone's advice. So what do you like to do? Do you like to do things spontaneously or listen to reason? Let me know in the comments. For me, I think I try to listen to reason. I don't think I'm super spontaneous. For example, like I said, I'm looking to adopt a dog, and some people like to adopt their dog spontaneously. Like they don't think about where they get the dog. They're not thinking about training or pet supplies. I'm trying to listen to reason by, like, on the internet, I'm looking around and some people are saying, be careful, don't be spontaneous with your dog adoption. Research the place where you're going to adopt your dog first. So I'm trying to listen to other people's advice. I'm trying to listen to reason. That was the idiom. Can't believe I forgot the idiom there for a second. Wow. Okay, guys, one more last discussion question. Let's see. Let's do, number 9. This is the last one. Oh, we got through all of it. Do you prefer to hear people out if they have made a mistake, or do you prefer to burn bridges? Okay, that's an interesting one. Burn bridges. This might be a new idiom for you. So literally, here is a bridge. Ooh. And let's say this is you, and let's say this is a friend. Or actually, let's say it's me, because this is not a very nice thing to do. So if we have an argument and let's say we have an argument and we're angry at each other now. Now, if you're smart, maybe, you're going to hear your friend out. But me, I'm so angry, I never want to talk to them again. So what do? I burn the bridge. This bridge is on fire. So this means they can't come over to see me anymore, and I can't see them anymore. So when you burn a bridge, like basically that means you can no longer have contact with that person. So this is a dangerous thing to do because you could lose a good friend. So when you burn bridges, you cut off contact from that person. So what do you prefer to do? So after an argument, so do you prefer to hear people out if they have made a mistake, or do you prefer to burn bridges? Let me know in the comments. For me, I feel like I do try to hear people out most of the time. I try not to be the person who burns bridges, but I've probably done it once or twice in the past. But I think it's better to hear people out. Let them tell their side of the story. You know, let them explain any mistake they have made. So yeah, let me know if you want to respond to my question or not. Okay, so it looks like we're pretty much, class looks like it is done now. But we might go over time a little bit. Yeah, let me just grab some water in the meantime. Oh, burn bridges. Yeah, this is usually not a good thing to do. This can also be done with like your coworkers or your boss as well. So for example, if you get into an argument with your boss and you decide to like leave the company, but like maybe you burn a bridge, you can't have your boss be a reference for you anymore. So yeah, burning bridges, not a good thing to do. To burn bridges. I'll give you an example sentence. Let's see. After I quit. This is not real, by the way. This is just an example. After I quit my last job, I burned bridges with my boss, my previous boss, because we got into a large fight. So that's an example sentence for burning bridges. Have you ever done this before? Have you ever burned any bridges? Let me know in the comments if you have. Okay. All right. Okay, sorry guys. I've kind of run out of material. Let me just take a look at something. Okay. So let me see if I can come up with a quick little activity to end off this lesson. Sorry, we're going over time a little bit. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about these words? Would you like me to go over any of these? Maybe we can do one example sentence with spontaneously, because I feel like I didn't explain that one very well. Spontaneously. Okay. So, when I'm sad, I spontaneously buy things off of Amazon. Okay, so spontaneous means without much thought. Without much thought. So when I'm sad, I spontaneously buy things off of Amazon. I don't think about it. I'm like, ooh, new pair of shoes, gonna buy it. Oh, that's a nice looking fridge, buy it. Oh, I've always wanted that book, buy it. So that is spontaneous shopping. You want to be careful if you do that. Okay, I'm just going to pop out for a quick second. I'll be right back. I think it's... All right, guys, sorry about that. I just had to quickly grab something. Okay, so we are now at the end of today's class. I just wanted to thank you for joining in today. I'll be back here again tomorrow morning. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Let's